Peaches Honeyblossom Geldof-Cohen was an English journalist, television presenter and model. She was the second daughter of musician and Live Aid founder Bob Geldof, and the television presenter Paula Yates. Raised in London, Geldof was educated at Queen's College after her parents' divorce in 1996, and later moved to New York City where she worked as a writer for the UK edition of Elle Girl magazine. She also worked in television, producing and developing her own TV programs which aired in the United Kingdom in 2006. In the later part of her life, Geldof worked primarily in modeling and television, and gave birth to sons in 2012 and 2013. Geldof was found dead at her home on April 7, 2014. The inquest found that the cause of her death was a heroin overdose. Early life: Geldof was born in London on March 13, 1989, the second daughter of famed singer and Live Aid founder Bob Geldof and Paula Yates and a granddaughter of Huey Green. She had two sisters, Pixie Geldof, Fifi Trexibel Geldof, and one half-sister, Tiger Lily Hutchins. She grew up in Chelsea, London, and Faversham, Kent, and was educated at Queen's College, London. After moving out of her father's house at the age of 18, she rented a flat in Islington, North London. She completed her A-levels and was accepted at Queen Mary in Westfield College, University of London, where she planned to study English literature and journalism, but deferred it to move to New York with then-husband, Max Dromy. Career: Geldof wrote a magazine column for the UK edition of Elle Girl, starting with its April 2004 issue and continuing until the magazine folded in October 2005. From ages 14 to 17, she wrote a weekly socio-political column for the Daily Telegraph, and wrote numerous articles for The Guardian. She wrote and presented her own documentary TV program, Peaches Geldof, Teenage Mind in 2005, which was followed up with Peaches Geldof, Teen America, which aired on Sky One in the UK on March 1, 2006. In 2006, Geldof was placed at number 7 in the Taylor's list of top 10 fashion icons for the year, the youngest person on the list. In 2007, readers of FHM voted her the 53rd sexiest woman in the world. In September 2007, Geldof made her catwalk dour copyright but modelling for PPQ at London Fashion Week. She was also announced as the face of the Australian fashion line Dottie. Premiering on October 19, 2008 was Peaches, Disappear Here, a MTV1 reality show in which she founds a new youth-oriented magazine. In 2009, Geldof was signed to a six-figure modeling deal to become the face of the Miss Ultimo collection. In 2010 she was dropped from the Ultimo after nude pictures and allegations of drug use were posted on the internet and published in the media. Geldof denied the claims and said, "I am disappointed that Ultimo has decided not to extend my contract based on a wildly exaggerated account of a night in Los Angeles 5 months ago." Michelle Mon, the head of Ultimo Underwear, said that as a brand that targets young women, we feel it is impossible for Peaches to continue. In 2011, Geldof presented a 6-part series on ITV2 called OMG. With Peaches Geldof, a magazine format chat and guest show with audience participation. Personal life: on August 5, 2008, Geldof married Max Dromy, an American musician from the band Chester French, at the Little White Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas. On February 7, 2009, the couple announced that they had amicably decided to end their marriage. Over 2 years later, on April 18, 2011, Dromy filed for divorce in Los Angeles, citing irreconcilable differences. In June 2011, Geldof became engaged to Thomas Cohen, lead singer of the Southeast London band SCUM. They were married on September 8, 2012, at the same church in Davington, Kent, where her parents married 26 years earlier, and also where her mother's funeral was held in 2000. Geldof had 2 sons with Cohen, Astala Dill and Willow Geldof-Cohen, born on April 18, 2012, and Phaedra Bloom Forever Geldof-Cohen, born on April 24, 2013. In 2009, when interviewed by Fionn Cotton for the documentary show When Fionn Met Peaches Geldof on ITV2, Geldof professed to being a Scientologist, and in November that year she attended the 25th anniversary of the International Association of Scientologists at St Hill Manor in East Grinstead, West Sussex. She later became interested in her husband's Judaism, and in 2013 began to express interest in the Ordo Templi Orientis, describing it as a belief system to apply to day-to-day life to attain peacefulness. She had the initials OTO tattooed on her left forearm. In 2000, when she was 11, her mother died of a heroin overdose at the age of 41. In a 2013 interview with Elle magazine, Geldof explained how difficult the process of coming to terms with her mother's death was. "I remember the day my mother died, and it's still hard to talk about it. I just blocked it out. I went to school the next day because my father's mentality was keep calm and carry on. So we all went to school and tried to act as if nothing had happened. But it had happened. I didn't grieve. I didn't cry at her funeral. I couldn't express anything because I was just numb to it all. I didn't start grieving for my mother properly until I was maybe 16. Death. On April 7, 2014, Geldof was found dead, at the age of 25, at her home in Wrotham, Kent. The police found and seized drug paraphernalia at the house. Bob Geldof said in a statement, "We are beyond pain. She was the wildest, funniest, cleverest, wittiest and the most bonkers of all of us. We loved her and will cherish her forever." Her widower Thomas Cohen said in a statement, "My beloved wife Peaches was adored by myself and her two sons Astala and Phaedra, and I shall bring them up with their mother in their hearts every day." Geldof's funeral took place on April 21, 2014 at St Mary Magdalene and St Lawrence Church in Davington, Kent, the same church where she was married, where her parents were married, and where her mother's funeral service was held. The private service was attended by her father, husband, other family and friends, as well as Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, musicians Jules Holland, Bill Wyman, journalist and model Alexa Chung, and other members of the UK entertainment and fashion communities. Inquest. The inquest opened into Geldof's death at Gravesend Old Town Hall on May 1, 2014. On July 23, the coroner found that the cause of her death was opiate intoxication, and recorded a verdict of drug-related death. There was no evidence it was deliberate. Geldof had been taking the heroin substitute methadone for 2.5 years before her death, but had started taking heroin again in February 2014, and 6.9 grams of the drug were found in the house. Notes: A. The body of Peaches Geldof was discovered at her home at around 1:30 p.m. on Monday 7 April 2014, and initial media reports gave this as the date of her death. Evidence presented at the inquest included the possibility that she had died after 8 p.m. on Sunday 6 April 2014. References. External links: Peaches Geldof at the Internet Movie Database, The Guardian profile page, Peaches Geldof at Find a Grave.